Good evening and welcome. Tonight, I will accept outcome of the presidential election if it's free and fair, declares the presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, while engaging staff and students of the University of Abuja. The president leads APC presidential campaign in Bauchi state in a demonstration of his result to ensure the emergence of APC's presidential candidate Bola Tinubu as his successor. And the Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi woos voters in the home state of the president. Katsina promises to fight poverty and open the nation's land borders for economic growth.
On business news tonight, Federal Inland Revenue Service announces over 10 trillion naira tax revenue in 2022, the highest collection ever made.
On sports news tonight, Everton FC sacked manager Frank Lampard after Saturday's defeat by West Ham, which leaves them 19th in the Premier League and without a win in 10 matches in all competitions.
And from Abuja, the nation's capital, the spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum, Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed, says talks are on between northern groups and Ohaneze Indigo towards bridge building, deplores political endorsement on the basis of religion and ethnicity.
And in international news from London, Californian police have identified the gunman suspected of killing 10 people in a ballroom dance studio near Los Angeles as Hu Can Tran.
Ahead of the presidential election next month, the candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Mr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, says he will accept the outcome of the poll, provided it is free and fair. Mr. Kwankwaso stated this today at a town hall meeting with staff and students of the University of Abuja, where he also promised to increase the numerical strength of the country's armed forces. The meeting was to enable students to engage the presidential candidate on issues such as unemployment, education, youth inclusivity, healthcare, and electricity.
The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Mr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, arrives at the venue of the University of Abuja Town Hall meeting, where students and management of staff of the university are set to engage the candidate on his manifesto. It's an intellectual engagement where the candidate is asked to share his blueprint on issues regarding security, education, youth inclusivity, and the economy.
A nation in which young people need to have the feeling that they belong, but they have to struggle day and night. That is why this university, the UFA of Nigeria, asked politicians to come to campus and tell us, before we vote for you, what do you want to do? What are your plans?
Mr. Kwankwaso unveils his blueprints on several issues, including the economy, security, unemployment, and education.
We have decided, and is there in our blueprint, that we tackle the issue of insecurity. We are very angry that today, as we are sitting here, we have so many people, young men and women being kidnapped. We believe that we will not only get security with that, but we give an opportunity for the young men and women to serve this country as members of the armed forces, members of the police, members of the DSS, and so on.
On whether or not he will accept the outcome of the forthcoming presidential election, the NNPP presidential candidate had this to say.
You see, I have no problem with accepting losing election. The best way to accept 2023 election is by getting a free, fair, and of course, credible election.
The 2023 general elections will begin on February 25th with the presidential and National Assembly elections. This first tranche of the general elections will test most of the preparations the electoral umpire has put in place for the exercise.
Meanwhile, the president today demonstrated his resolve to campaign vigorously for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Bola Tinubu, by leading the party's presidential rally in Bauchi State. During the rally, which took place much earlier in the day, the president could not deliver his address due to a technical fault that developed midway into the program. Before then, another party faithful who spoke during the campaign appealed to the electorate to vote for APC candidates at all levels.
President Muhammadu Buhari is received at the Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Airport by the Bauchi State Governor and the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress amongst party supporters. The president pays homage to the Emir of Bauchi.
Announcing the arrival of His Excellency.
He then proceeds to the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium to lead the presidential campaign of the All Progressives Congress. 5 APC governors are among the dignitaries at the campaign, including the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Speaking in Hausa, the Bauchi APC governorship candidate describes the president as a role model he wishes to emulate if elected.
I'm calling on all former leaders and the politicians to join us, service the people.
The party lost the state to the People's Democratic Party in 2019, and the party wants the state to return to its fold after the election.
The PDP abandoned the Northeast to Boko Haram, to insurgency. PDP abandoned us until you came into office.
We understand the significance of campaigning for Asiwaju Tinubu, and we know he will continue from where the president stopped, and he will listen to your advice, and he has a capable running mate. In Bauchi, we don't need to campaign for Sadiq. Everyone knows the role he played when he worked under you.
A technical hitch did not stop the party's presidential candidate from showing his dance moves. However, the technical issue persisted as the president and the candidates could not make their speech. Nevertheless, the president presents the party's flags to the candidates and subsequently the people, indicating his support for the candidates.
Tackling insecurity in the Niger Delta is one of the priorities of the People's Democratic Party's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, if he is elected president. He made the pledge during the campaign in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, today. But the party also assured that the PDP-led administration will tackle the challenge of oil spillage in the region. Much earlier, upon his arrival in Bayelsa state, the PDP flag bearer was received by the state governor, Doye Diri, alongside some party stalwarts. He was accompanied by his vice presidential candidate, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, the national chairman of the PDP, and Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, among other members of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. Well, Katsina State is the latest stopover in the campaign trail of the Labour Party's presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. Mr. Obi told the people of Katsina it is not acceptable to have 10 local government areas in the state under persistent attacks by bandits, and that a vote for Labour Party will put an end to insecurity in the state. He also promised to open the land borders to ensure free movement of goods.
The chopper conveying members of the Labour Party presidential campaign train lands in Katsina State as supporters gather to receive the party's presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. As it's been his tradition, the presidential candidate and his running mate, alongside their wives, hold a town hall meeting with women where he promises to build a new Nigeria.
We want to build a Nigeria there will be security of life and property. Your children will be secure. Your children will be in school. And they will get jobs. That is Nigeria we want to build.
At the Mohammed Diko Stadium, they are received by supporters as the party rolls out its plan for Nigeria.
Your children, yourself, will be happy to say, we live in our country. Katsina used to be a peaceful town. Today it is not. Katsina used to be a peaceful state. Today it is not. We're begging you, vote for Labour Party.
We will join hands to fight poverty, the killings and the stealing. We are the ones that know how to handle the situation. We will create employment and business opportunities.
The presidential candidate who addresses newsmen after the rally speaks about the robust plan of his administration to tackle the scourge of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism.
Daddy and I are committed to a new Nigeria, a Nigeria where there will be security of life and property, a Nigeria where we will work hard to unite Nigerians. We don't want a Nigeria where people are chased out of their house, where they're insecure, where their children cannot go to school, where they live in IDP camp.
The candidate is promising to take advantage of the agrarian potential of Katsina State to improve trans-border trade in Nigeria's northwest region. Dili Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
PDP campaign rally in Omumat local government area, where he boasted about the credentials and the ability of the party's governorship and deputy governorship candidates to manage the affairs of the state.
One local government area to the other, the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State continues to mobilize supporters to drive home its message of consolidation and continuity. Here in the Berry community is a campaign rally for Omoma local government area, with the stakeholders in this area term a victory celebration.
What we are doing today is a victory rally. It is not campaign, because Omoma local government traditionally has remained PDP. And I want to assure you that we will continue to do the needful. We are going to vote 100%. If one is remaining, we will add it for Sim Fubara. We are going to vote 100% for Owele Oyesu. If you are going to vote for Sim Fubara, please can I see you wave your hand and your flag?
Satisfied with the level of mobilization and the comments by the party leaders, the governorship candidate believes he has no competition in the election while promising to develop human capacity.
We need to also grow, build, develop other manpower in this LGA. So my declaration here is I'm going to focus on manpower development. You have everything, but you still need more people to be stronger than what you are today.
For Governor Nyesom Wike, who chairs the campaign council, Rivers State will be safe with PDP.
I have fulfilled my promises, and I can assure you this road must be completed. Yes, so, and that is why today we have come with our governorship candidate. He has told you what our theme is: consolidation and what? Continuity. We are going to consolidate on the good works we have done and will continue to do for the good people of Omoma local government.
The crowd becomes more excited as Governor Wike announces the award of contract for the reconstruction of the Ebere-Moakele Road, where this venue is located, in continuation of a gesture that he believes will endear many to his administration and the PDP in the state.
In part two, after the break, INEC and the Nigeria police partner to tackle vote buying during the forthcoming general elections. We'll have that in a moment. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 and live on Channels Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. I will accept outcome of the presidential election if it's free and fair, declares the presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, while engaging staff and students of the University of Abuja. The president leads APC presidential campaign in Bauchi in demonstration of his resolve to ensure the emergence of APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu as his successor. Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi woos voters in the home state of the president, Katsina, promises to fight poverty and open the nation's land borders for economic growth. And California police identify the gunman suspected of killing 10 people in a ballroom dance studio near Los Angeles. The Nigeria Police and the Independent National Electoral Commission is putting together a joint effort to counter any attempt at vote buying during the 2023 general election. That's according to the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Usman Alkali Baba, during a media briefing at the force headquarters in Abuja. Mr. Alkali Baba explains that necessary study has been carried out to understand vote buying occurrence during elections and how it can be countered.
However, we are not resting on ours that while some issues have been blocked, others are coming up. And that is why society is dynamic. Human being is amenable to change always. For instance, the new bulk of vote buying is a new offense that we are still studying how to take care of it. But we believe it is not only for us. There are measures that are also being put in place by both the electoral umpire and government to see how this one can also be checked. And we are also trying to do our best to see how we can effectively do deployment. And because of this, we've undertaken a lot of conferences, a lot of training with our officers, even involving other security agencies and the military. This time around, we are coming out as a coordinated force in terms of deployment of manpower, in terms of sharing our logistics strengths or tools to make sure that the election is conducted under a more conducive atmosphere.
Let's get more news now from our Abuja studio. Yes, Maokwe Ogun Yusuf. Hi, Maokwe. Great to see you.
Hello, Amarachi. Always great to see you as well. Let's move over to the northeast state of Bauchi, where the people of Dagauda in Dambam local government area are now to enjoy a new primary healthcare center, a wash facility, and an ICT model primary school. Governor Bala Mohammed inaugurated these facilities during his campaign tour to Bauchi Central, with an assurance that more of the project should be expected if he returns for a second tenure.
Dambam local government area of Bauchi State is the first local government in Bauchi Central to be visited by the Governor Bala Mohammed's campaign team. Before proceeding to the venue for the rally, the governor performs an official task of inaugurating 3 facilities in Dagauda: a model ICT primary school, a primary healthcare center, and wash facilities. The people say they are overwhelmed by the project.
The interventions you have brought our area are enough reasons for us to go out en masse and vote for you.
The The governor hinges his campaign on these interventions and others as he moves to Misau local government area to seek for re-election, assuring them that he would continue to deliver.
You have shown me and the PDP so much love. It is incumbent on me to be just to you.
Meanwhile, the campaign train had earlier completed its campaign tour of Bauchi as they visit Katagum local government area and Giadi. These two local government areas are strategic for the PDP. One has the numbers and the other, Giadi, is the hometown of the APC governorship candidate.
Campaign is all about what you can showcase. We are able to showcase what we have been doing for the last 3.5 years. And it's natural. It's for the people to understand that why are you voting?
I can assure you we are the party to beat.
As the governor continues his campaign ahead of the general elections, some defectors from the All Progressives Congress pitch their tent with the People's Democratic Party. Hajera Aliyu, Channels Television News.
And as candidates continue to seek support from individuals and various groups, the Northern Elders Forum is ruling out the endorsement of any presidential candidate on the grounds of ethnicity or religion. That's according to the spokesperson of the group, Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed, who says the country is on a dangerous path following endorsement on the basis of faith and ethnicity. He adds that northern groups are in dialogue with the Ohanese Indigbo to build bridges ahead of the elections. He was speaking with our political correspondent, Terry Ikumi.
If you keep harping on this issue that he is ours, he is Igbo, he is ours, he is Yoruba, he is ours, all you're going to do is to trigger he is ours because he's from the north, either he's House of Fulani or whatever. That's all you're going to do. And people will line up eventually behind people the same way that you will line up behind yours. And we don't want that. Believe me, this country doesn't want an ethnic president. They don't want a president elected on the basis of his faith. We want a president who will be voted in because enough Nigerians feel comfortable enough and confident enough that he will actually fix the problems of this country. But we are receding, we are retreating. Where we are now is very dangerous. All this endorsement on the basis of faith and on the basis of ethnicity is very damaging. It's not moving the country forward. It's just simply taking us back. 1964. Long before the military came in. We have a very, very good understanding of history. We've broken a lot of bridges that shouldn't be there. The North is just beginning to talk to the Southeast. Right now, I can say this to you. However, there is a dialogue discussion going on between northern groups and Ohanese Indigo, and we don't know where it will end. But it's good that we're even talking.
What's the basis for a dialogue?
Well, because we have to rebuild bridges. We have to build bridges. Some of it is political, some of it is looking at what this country would be. The consequences of the elections are very important. We're not just going to elect someone. This election is more than an election. It's a referendum on Nigeria.
For the full interview, do watch Political Paradigm tomorrow at noon and at 11 p.m. To legal matters now, the Presidential Campaign Council of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, says it has commenced a legal process to disqualify the presidential candidate of the APC, Senator Bola Tinubu, from contesting the 2023 presidential elections. The spokesperson of the PDP Campaign Council, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, told journalists at a news conference in Abuja that they are in court to ask for the disqualification of the APC candidate over allegations bordering on trafficking narcotics in the United States. The PDP is also asking the court to compel the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to immediately delist Senator Tinubu as presidential candidate of the APC or any other political party. The PDP Campaign Council says it is filing for an accelerated hearing in the interest of the country's legal stance on ex-convicts and their right to contest an election.
137(1)(d) of the 1999 Constitution as amended provides that 1. A person shall not be qualified for election to the office of president if, subsection D, he is under a sentence of death imposed by any competent court of law.
Still ahead on the news at 10, the Federal Inland Revenue Service announces 10.1 trillion naira tax revenue in 2022, the highest collection ever made. Well, that's some business news. Do join us again. Welcome back to the news at 10. A mild drama was on display at the Federal High Court in Abuja today when the counsel to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Professor Kwankwaso Ajayi, and Mr. Etigua Uwa walked out on the court in the 100 billion naira suit filed by Senator Ifeanyi Ararume against the president. Mr. Ararume is challenging his removal as the chairman of the state oil company, NNPCL. Professor Ajayi had sought to move 3 different applications, one of which was to ask for a stay of proceedings, pending the appeal against the ruling of the Federal High Court, delivered on January 11, 2023, a request the court did not grant.
What would have ended as a normal court sitting in the 100 billion naira suit instituted by Senator Ifeanyi Ararume against President Muhammadu Buhari for allegedly removing him as chairman of the NNPC ended on quite a sour note as counsel to the NNPC, Professor Kwankwaso Ajayi, and his legal team staged a walkout during the session. The NNPC legal team had sought to move 3 different applications, including a stay of proceedings, pending the appeal against the ruling of the Federal High Court delivered on January 11, 2023. They want the motion to be heard separately and the ruling delivered by the judge before any other motion can be entertained. However, the trial judge, Justice Iyang Ekwo, wants the counsel to move all the applications together, stating that he would deliver separate rulings for each of the applications. Although counsel to Ararume, Mr. Chris Uche, claims that the motion for a stay of proceeding has not been served on him, Professor Ajayi insists on moving the applications separately. However, the judge insists on following the provision of the practice direction of the Federal High Court. The NNPC legal team subsequently announced their withdrawal from the suit and walked out of the court. Their departure did not affect the day's proceeding, as counsel to Mr. Ararume adopts his final brief of argument, asking the court to invoke the Companies and Allied Matters Act to nullify the removal of his client as the chairman of the state-owned oil company. Justice Iyang Ekwo subsequently fixed March 28, 2023 for ruling and possible judgment.
And that's all from our Abuja studios. It's back now to you, Amarachi.
Thanks, Malpe. We'll stay with the courts, however. Widow of the late politician and businessman Chief Moshood Abiola, Professor Zainab Duke Abiola, is suing the Inspector General of Police and demanding 100 billion naira as damages of alleged defamation. Other defendants in the suit filed before the Federal High Court, Abuja, are the Nigeria Police, one Ibrahim, who the plaintiff described as IGP Alkali's son, and her former orderly Teju Moses. Mrs. Abiola states that the defendants jointly made false and defamatory publications against her, in which they claimed, among others, that she assaulted Moses, who was then her police orderly. She faulted the police for not investigating claims of assault for her orderly before parading her as a criminal before a newsman in September last year for alleged brutality. A suit has been scheduled for February 28th for hearing.
Same orderly, Teju Kogi Moses, abandoned Senator Kainan Namani and his wife around the kidnappers then and ran away. So she has been setting up people. Now when I washed my hands off, disengaged her, sacked, I said, please don't come back again. I'm not owing you. I am not owing her a penny. Please, I'm going. Bye. The police apologized to me. And she tried to enter my car. She was dragging the hand of the Range Rover, trying to break it. Luckily, as you know, gentlemen, I pressed the power lock and we came home safely. And that was it. From the second point, you have to ask those who witnessed it. Because I was not even downstairs when she came banging. Yes, I admit I heard the noise. No fracas, no confrontation, no assault, nothing took place in these premises. Nothing even took place in my part of the street. It was across the street where they dragged Rebecca to kill her, but she will tell you better.
It's been a busy day for the president, who took a break from the campaign trail of his party, the All Progressives Congress, to visit Lagos, where he inaugurated the Lekki Deep-Sea Port, a public-private partnership venture involving the federal and Lagos state governments in a private company, Tolaram. In his address, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu noted that the Lekki Deep-Sea project is a big testament to the commitments of the Lagos state government to support the provision of infrastructure that would improve the economic fortunes of Lagosians. After the engagement, President Buhari also left for Ikorodu, where he commissioned the Lagos rice mill, located at Imota, said to be the largest in Africa and the fourth largest rice mill in the world. According to the governor, the mill has the capacity to produce 32 metric tons per hour and 2.5 million bags of 50 kilograms per annum, beg your pardon. The president toured the facility and commended the Lagos state government for taking the bold step to become self-sufficient in food production. The rice mill would also provide direct and indirect jobs to over 250,000 residents in Lagos state. President Buhari is expected to commission the first phase of the iconic Blue Line on Tuesday, tomorrow, as well as the John Randall Center for Yoruba Culture and History. In other news, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, destroyed an estimated 95 billion naira worth of tramadol and other unregistered pharmaceutical products in November 2022 in the Republic of Benin. The Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, made this disclosure at a media parley in Abuja. Professor Adeyeye explains the agency got a tip from the presidency on the shipment of 31 containers of fake pharmaceutical products labeled building materials in August 2018 and patiently monitored the products until they were intercepted for examination. She revealed that some of the drugs contained in the 5 by 40 feet containers include tramadol and the Reality Extra diclofenac tablets. More landlords are emerging from the Globacom Festival of Joy promo as Nigeria's foremost telecommunications company rewards one of its lucky winners with a 3-bedroom apartment in Abuja. Globacom, a leading indigenous telecommunications company, has been rewarding its subscribers through its Festival of Joy promo with 20 houses, 24 exotic cars, sewing machines, and other prizes. Officials of the company say the promo will run until January 31st as part of their commitment to improve welfare of customers.
Meet Bello Ridwan, the latest winner of the Globacom Festival of Joy promo. This 29-year-old graduate of statistics walks majestically into the building, adorned with the colors of the telecommunications company, for the official presentation of the house located at Standard Estate in Galadimawa area of the nation's capital. It's all joy for Mr. Ridwan, his friends and family, as the keys to the house, a 3-bedroom apartment with a boys' quarter and a security post, are handed over to him. This house is one of the 20 earmarked for Glow subscribers in the ongoing Festival of Joy promo.
Every year, we always come up with a fantastic promotion, to show our appreciation to our numerous subscribers. This is one of our ways of showing them that, yes, we thank them, we are really grateful to them. This promo started since last year, November. It's supposed to run up till the end of this month.
20 houses, 24 exotic cars, and 200 sewing machines are among the prizes for grabs on the ongoing Glow Festival of Joy promo. From being a tenant and now an owner of a 3-bedroom apartment, Mr. Ridwan is full of joy over the reward. Mr. Ridwan is full of joy over the reward for his loyalty to the brand.
I would say it's more like a dream come true. You know, I cannot even express. Like, if I begin to express how I feel, I think I'm going to overdo it. So I'm so very happy.
Apart from the winner, government officials who attended the event commended the management of Globacom for the initiative.
You look at where we're coming from the headquarters in Wuse to there, you saw the number of people that are actually working there, and we have similar outfits all over the country. So they provided job opportunities for the entire youths of Nigeria, and not that you could see what we are here for today.
More winners are expected for the Festival of Joy promo. Houses, cars, sewing machines, and power-generating sets are some of the goodies up for grabs. Globacom is asking its subscribers to dial *611# to join the train of winners.
Let's get some more business news now. Here's Anne Wawodo.
Thank you, Marachi. Hello and welcome to Business News. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has announced that it received over 10 trillion naira in tax revenue for the year 2022, and that's the highest tax collection it has ever recorded. This is contained in an FIRS 2022 Performance Update Report. The tax agency further says that it has achieved 96.7% of its 10.44 trillion naira target for the year 2022, with collections made from oil and non-oil revenues. According to that report, the non-oil taxes contributed 59% of the total collection, while remittances from the oil taxes stood at 41%. Members of the Trade Promotion Organization Network, an umbrella body for the all trade policy institutions across the ECOWAS states, have been speaking on the need to remove trade impediment within and outside the African region. Speaking at the meeting in Abuja, the president of the ECOWAS Trade Promotion Organization Network, Ezra Yakusak, explains that sound policies must also be adopted to help achieve this objective.
We now have a unique opportunity to strengthen our collaboration and build regional value chains. Our focus should therefore be targeted at expediting regional trade flows by choosing the missing link, by closing the missing links and fostering a greater participation of regional businesses across production lines. I must acknowledge that the region has all it takes to substitute imported inputs with locally sourced materials and components. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a sure way of increasing intra-African trade. This training will therefore equip and spur you into regional trade and growth for the benefit of our people. This training is aimed at strengthening our capacities in terms of business generation methodology and business promotion. I am delighted to inform you that the previous training, which focused on result-based management-oriented project cycle, has tremendously impacted in enhancing the performance of the participants and also upskill the capability and competence of other staff and businesses through knowledge transfer and coaching techniques.
International and domestic agencies expect Nigeria's gross domestic product to grow at between 2.9% and 3.1%. That should happen this year. Chief Economist of Development Bank of Nigeria, Professor Joseph Nana, believes that the data may not be the core for Nigeria as the lack of inclusive growth deters this impact. We head to the equities market now. It opened the trading week in January on a positive note as position ahead of fourth quarter earnings continues. Laddie Williams has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, first trading session for the final full week of January, and we have a positive close. And it's not a bad one there. If you look at the all-share index, up 0.12%, Big rebound from the last drop we got on Friday, 52,657 points. And we see the market cap sitting at 28.681 trillion naira. Let's look at the activity chart there. We see it's all green. Buying pressure we're seeing this morning, 143 million units of stocks valued at 1.77 billion naira. Deals 4,078. That's what we had at the close of trade today. And we see the sectoral performance. It's all green. Banking, they're adding 0.12%. Thanks to gains with GTCO and Zenith Bank. And we see consumer goods also up 0.12%. And oil and gas sector, marginal gain of 0.03%. And it's a positive market breadth with 18 gainers against 13 losers. The Monetary Policy Committee meeting that started today. Tomorrow we get the decision, and we'll see how investors react to the outcome. And as a stock market report, I'm Ladi Williams. It's back to you.
And that's Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. The rest of the news at 10 continues now with Amarachi.
Thanks a lot, Anne. The first victim of the shooting at a Chinese Lunar New Year celebration in California on Saturday night has been identified. Taiwanese-American reporter Tiffany Liu says the victim was her 65-year-old aunt, Mai Nan. Tiffany revealed this in a post on Twitter, where she also left a statement by the family. Mai is one of 2 victims identified so far in the shooting. The other is a 63-year-old woman named Lillian Lee. Simon Pusey has more in Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Californian police have identified the gunman suspected of killing 10 people in a ballroom dance studio near Los Angeles as Hu Can Tran. The 72-year-old was later found dead in a white van with a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was declared dead at the scene. Celebrations for Lunar New Year had been underway in Monterey Park, known for its large Asian population. Police do not yet know the motive. Another 10 people were wounded in the shooting, and 7 are still in hospital, some in a critical condition. US President Joe Biden ordered flags at the White House and other government agencies to be lowered to honor the victims.
The suspect has been identified as Hu Can Tran. He is a 72-year-old male Asian. I can confirm that there are no outstanding suspects from the mass shooting incident that occurred in the city of Monterey Park.
Germany's foreign minister has said she would not stand in the way of Poland if they were to send Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine.
Anna
Baerbock said Poland had not yet asked for export permission, but that if it were asked, we would not stand in the way. Ukraine has called on the West to provide the German-made tanks, which they say will help them defeat Russia. But Germany is yet to provide the armoured vehicles, and its export laws prevent other countries from sending theirs. Poland's Prime Minister said on Monday the government would request authorization from Berlin, but he said Poland would send the tanks to Ukraine even if it was not granted. Peruvian police have raided a university in the capital Lima and detained over 200 people in a surprise operation following a protesters' march last week demanding the resignation of the president. The gate of the San Marcos University was rammed open by a police tank as the campus was apparently being used as a refuge by protesters. Meanwhile, local authorities have indefinitely closed the Inca citadel of Machu Picchu. The past 2 weeks have seen the deadliest flare-up of violence in the anti-government protests that have lasted more than a month. So far, the death toll of the violent protests has risen to more than 50 people. Pakistan has suffered a huge power cut early on Monday following a breakdown in its national grid, leaving millions of people without electricity. Power was out in all the country's major centres, including the biggest city, Karachi, the capital, Islamabad, as well as Lahore and Peshawar. Pakistan often suffers from power cuts, which are blamed on mismanagement and a lack of investment in infrastructure. The last major blackout in October took hours to restore. Plunging temperatures and sudden snowstorms have led to hazardous conditions around Croatia. In central Dalmatia, the main coastal highway is closed between Pisac and Brela. Snowplows had to be brought in to Dubrovnik. Further north, the main highway between Zagreb and Rijeka have also had to be closed. There were snow warnings across the Adriatic, forcing cancellations of ferry services. Singer Beyoncé has returned to the stage for her first live performance in 5 years, but not everyone was excited. The US megastar headlined the private concert in Dubai to mark the opening of a luxury hotel, Atlantis the Royale. Many fans were thrilled to see the return of Queen Bee, but others weren't so happy due to Dubai's strict laws against women and treatment of migrant workers. She reportedly received $24 million for the performance. And Mexicans have come together in Mexico City to celebrate the Lunar New Year and the Year of the Rabbit with a colourful costume contest. At the competition, now in its 6th edition, people showed off their creativity with decorated bicycles, bunny costumes and elaborate dresses. The winner, a little 8-year-old girl named Frida, took first place with her dragon bike and showed a big smile as the audience clapped her achievement. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Many thanks, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Super Eagles vice-captain William Troost-Ekong has confirmed he has left Watford after 3 seasons in a touching message posted on his Twitter handle. There are indications that 29-year-old Nigerian international is heading to Italy to join Serie A side Salernitana. Troost-Ekong joined Watford from Udinese in September 2020 and made 70 appearances. Troost-Ekong was a key member of the side that won promotion back to the Premier League in the 2020-21 season, making 35 appearances and scoring in the 3-2 win over Coventry. Relegation-threatened Everton FC have sacked manager Frank Lampard after less than a year in charge at the Goodison Park club. Though the former Chelsea boss was appointed to replace Rafa Benitez in January 2022, but leaves with the side languishing 19th in the EPL table, level on points with bottom club Southampton. In a sign of the turmoil enveloping Everton, club directors were earlier this month ordered to stay away from Goodison Park due to perceived security risks. Everton fell to a damaging 2-0 defeat at fellow strugglers West Ham on Saturday, a 9th loss in their past 12 Premier League games. And that's Sports News. I'm Ayotunde Balogun.
Thanks a lot, Ayotunde. And the main news again. The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, today said he would accept the outcome of the 2023 presidential election if it's free and fair. He made this declaration during the engagement with staff and students of the University of Abuja. Also today, President Muhammadu Buhari led the APC presidential campaign in Bauchi in a demonstration of his resolve to ensure APC's presidential candidate Bola Tinubu emerges his successor. And Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi took his campaign to Katsina, the home state of the president, where he promised to fight poverty and open the nation's land borders for economic growth. And just a programming note to remind you, the state banquet for President Muhammadu Buhari holding here in Lagos continues after the news at 10 on the DSTV platform, so do stay back for that. Thanks for watching the news at 10. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Good night and stay safe.